Home 2020. This is the Fear the Walking Dead panel. Obviously, we're doing things a little bit differently this year. Of course, in our hearts, we wish we could be in Hall H. We know that you wish you could be there too. But this is how we have adapted to the situation. I just want to thank the folks at Comic-Con for helping us put this together, and of course, everyone from the Fear the Walking Dead cast. We're going to do it a little bit differently this year. We're going to break up the panel into two groups. Just so there's not like, a million people all at once. We really have time to kind of focus in and talk to everyone. Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 premiere, by the way, is the official date, Sunday, October 11th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, of course on AMC. We're going to show you an exclusive trailer for the teaser of the Season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead. But let's go through and introduce everyone. As you can see, center square, Morgan Jones, Lennie James is here. And just off to the side of Mr. Lennie James, Alycia Debnam-Carey, who of course plays Alycia with an I, is here as well. Down below, we have the wonderful Colman Domingo, a.k.a. Victor Strand. Coleman, your home is stunning. Your home is like magazine worthy.
Yeah, you're doing like a real flex, Coleman. Yeah. Like a blank voice.
There was no intention of that, but I'm like, you got to give the people at home something, where would Victor Strand live? This is actually where I live, which is kind of similar to Victor Strand.
I know, it's so funny, it's so casual, like, oh, this old lamp, this old
this old thing.
Oh gosh.
Even the light through the window is gorgeous, right?
Everything's perfect.
Yeah.
Everything is just flawless. Okay, so on the producer side, of course, we have with us executive producer Ian Goldberg and Andrew Chambliss are also here. And the Walking Dead Universe Chief Content Officer Scott M. Gimple is joining us as well. So, let's just pretend, of course, we're missing 7,000 people who are out there screaming and cheering. I know. So we could just replicate that about 7,000 times and then add it into the mix. But let's just have a little refresher course of where we left off at the end of Season 5, which feels like it was years ago, right? It feels like it was forever ago. So
I don't even know.
So Alycia, just to remind you what was happening on Fear the Walking Dead, you may remember that the group made one last ditch effort to stop Virginia from extorting them by leading walkers from Humbug's Gulch to a rendezvous point, right? You remember that? So then they aborted the mission once they realized that Virginia brought Luciana with her. And then John, Dory, and June finally tied the knot just before Virginia arrived and forced everyone to separate. She then informed Morgan that he would not be coming along and then promptly shot him in the chest before leaving him for dead. So, does any of that sound familiar?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Right.
I got a hole in my chest.
Yeah. Oh my God, are you okay, Lennie?
Yeah.
You look great.
Lots of blood, saying stuff on the wall.
That's right. Remember that time you got shot in the chest? Yeah.
Oh my God, right?
And the walkers were encroaching.
Wild.
That's right. It seemed like there were some zombies afoot. But now that we've had a refresher, here is a look at Season 6, a quick little teaser of Fear the Walking Dead. Check it out.
If any of you are listening, if any of you can hear me, what we were doing out here, it wasn't just about doing right. We fought for the future. We made the hard call for all of us. If you're listening to me, live. All of you, if you can hear me, just live.
I got a job for you.
Who are you looking for?
A man named Morgan Jones.
Is Mr. Jones dead or alive?
I don't know.
You will soon.
want to start with Ian and Andrew. So in the season 5 finale, as we covered already, Morgan was left for dead. He's bleeding out. So is he okay is the first question. That's the first question. And then I have a follow-up. Is Morgan okay?
I think define okay.
Yeah, okay is can mean a lot of different things.
He's fine.
Yes.
Physically, spiritually,
emotionally.
Yeah.
Does he
I think he needs a couple of pints at least.
He might, yeah, he might. Well, then this is sort of the extension of that question. This is from, by the way, I'm going to be asking a lot of fan questions because obviously we couldn't be here for the fans, and so we wanted to incorporate as many fan questions as possible. At Tracy Streeter1 on Twitter wants to know, was that Morgan with red eyes in the trailer?
Yes, that was definitely Morgan with the red eyes, and it's not allergies. There is something going on with Morgan.
There is something going on with Morgan.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Answered. Good. I like when questions have concrete answers like this. Lenny, this is for you. So, by the way, the person who's not here who was phenomenal this past season was Colby Minifie, who plays Virginia. Yes, Lenny, can you talk? She was fantastic. She's fantastic on everything, but she's such a great, I mean, I guess we'll call her a villain, but again, from everyone's point of view on this show, everyone's just kind of doing what they do to survive. But what can you remember about shooting those scenes with Colby, Lenny?
It was kind of the time we really had a chance to work intensely with each other, and it's just lovely. She's got such a slightly off-kilter kind of energy. I mean, firstly, she comes at you and it's like a beam of light is hitting you, and then it's everything about her is just slightly on a dodge. Everything's just a little bit, I didn't expect it to come from that direction, and I think that's why she makes such a fantastic kind of villain, for want of a better phrase, because of all of the kind of adversaries that we've come across, both in Fear and Walking Dead, she's the one that's the most unnerving, because you keep looking at her going, how do you get this done? How are you managing this? But she is. And she's also one of the most successful adversaries that we've come across, because she's not just running one encampment and one group of people. She's running like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them. We may well find out that there's like 500 of them. So whatever she's doing is working. And she's met groups like us before, but we've never met anyone like her before. And a lot of that is down to Colby, because just the way she pitches it, the way she plays it, that smile that she has on her face when she's condemning someone to death is just fantastic. I think it's a beautifully realized character that Colby brings to life.
Scott and Gimple, from your point of view, as sort of looking atop all the Walking Dead shows, how would you say Virginia compares to other villains we've encountered?
She is a hero to herself, and she's framed herself as a hero to her people. I think she ranks as the cheeriest villain on all the shows, but that cheer can turn on a dime. We're going to see other dimensions to her this season, though. We're going to see a vulnerability to her this season, and as Colby has done an amazing job, sort of like crafting threat out of a weirdly like chaotic good personality. The intensity she brings to that vulnerability is amazing too. So this character is going to get even further dimensionalized, and it's through some really amazing story.
Colman Domingo, Victor Strand has had quite a journey in these last 5 going into 6 seasons. And he made a deal with Virginia at the end of last season to give her the starter to Al's MRAP. And so what does that say about him going into season 6? Is he different? Is he the same Strand? Like, how complicated is he at this point?
I think he's very complicated, but I think now that you know who Strand is, like we've peeled away the layers of Strand for the past 6 seasons now. And I think the end of season 5, he knew that it was time to actually go deep into his skill set of survival, which is making a deal. He's a deal maker. I feel like it goes back to his old school corporate skills, real estate skills, you name it. But he's like, you've got to negotiate with this person. So he goes rogue. And I think because he's like, I got to actually depend on my own skill set right now, because I've been trying to Victor Strand has been trying to lean into other ideologies and ethos and moving forward. I think that he's just like, I got to just trust my instinct on this. And so I think he goes hard. And I think you're going to see I believe you're going to see some of the elements that you were introduced to with Victor Strand mixed in with a guy that he knows he's a part of a group. But I think that part of Strand, who's a survivor, is coming back out.
Excellent. This is for Alycia from Gwyneth A on Facebook. So after everything Alicia's been through, who does she put the most trust in?
That's a very good question. I don't know that there's a whole lot of trust going on in just general.
Right.
I don't know. No one's trusting really anyone. I feel like Alycia has some serious trust issues too.
Understandably.
Wonder why.
I don't know that trust is, I guess it would be probably Strand just because she's known him the longest. And like, you know, he's sort of taken, you know, they went through so much together, and I think he's been there, you know, for her when, you know, Madison was gone, and then same with Nick, and so I think he's also taken her under his wing a little bit, and you know, there's been some sentiments of like, you know, your mother would be proud kind of thing. So I feel like at least she has that bond with Strand, but I think she also understands that anyone can sort of flip on a dime if it serves them. But I think maybe knows Strand's qualities the best. Yeah, I guess that's probably.
Well, then I'm going to throw it back to Colman then. Can Alycia trust Strand in season 6? Is she right to trust him?
I think from Strand's point of view, absolutely. Like, you should trust me because I'm going to look out for you, because you're sort of, you know, I made a promise to your mom.
Right.
But I also think that Strand just does, she also knows that Strand operates in a way that he may keep some things from her, because I think that I don't think Strand necessarily trusts, but he demands to be trusted.
Right. And I think that's the whole point too. It's just like she knows inherently who he is, because she's seen it now for so long. Has seen all the different aspects of what Strand is capable of, and all that many hats that he wears and what he can do. So at least she's aware of that. And so I think when you know at least people's duplicitous personalities, like you can at least navigate that, and so you can trust it yourself in it a bit more.
That is interesting. Just kind of that operating principle of like, well, Strand is going to Strand, and so as long as you know that about him, that's part of accepting. That's part of accepting the relationship.
Accepting exactly who I am, actually.
Where I would be
like, for all of me.
I would be hesitant to say like Morgan, for example, because whilst it's so much has been led by like trying to be peaceful and like non-violent, if at any point suddenly he was to flip, it would be like, whoa, wait, what's happening?
Right.
You know, like, yeah, out of character or something.
So this is a question for Andrew. And I'm sure you get asked this question a lot, and I'm sure it's something you're still trying to figure out. How has the shutdown affected the production?
Yeah, well, we were about this close to finishing shooting the first half of the season when we shut down, and we finished most of it. We still owe a few things, but we're just kind of in a waiting game. We finished writing season 6, and now we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. So when we come back, we can come back safely, for all these fine people here and then everyone behind the camera. But we're excited for kind of where the back half of the season's going to go, and I don't know, we're getting kind of antsy because Ian and I acting everything out isn't as much fun.
I miss everyone. I miss everyone a lot.
I like to see the two of you just acting it out.
I'd love to see that.
All right, what are you guys doing tonight?
Just film that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of storyboards, you're just going to get these weird, like, theatrical productions of Ian and Andrew just switching costumes really fast.
And like sock puppets.
Just swapping hats.
swapping hats.
Season 6 teaser trailer is just the two of you.
Yeah.
Oh, please do that. Please.
Oh my god, that would be so good.
It may come to that. So.
We might not get as many hits as the other trailer, but we'll
Oh, I think you'll be surprised.
No, wait, who do you want to play? You want me to play you? You want Ian to play you?
I want you both to play me at different times.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there's another fan question for Lenny, and this is a question that we have been getting a lot, actually. This is from Miss Redbird81 on Instagram, who says, Lenny, there was a spark with Grace last season. Would you like for Morgan to find love?
Would I like? Yeah, I think I would, really. I mean, I'd like to explore what that looks like for Morgan. I'd like to know what it looks like. I think when I was in season 5, when we were putting together the building blocks of Grace and Morgan's relationship, I kind of surreptitiously described it as the scariest thing that Morgan has faced possibly since the whole apocalypse began. And I still kind of believe that what Grace does to him, what she's done, she's opened up a part of his heart that was locked down and still belonged to his wife. And suddenly the red light has gone on, and it's opened up possibilities. And initially that scares the hell out of him. And I'm interested to see where that might go and what that might look like. Being Morgan ain't gonna be easy. Ain't gonna be straightforward. Ain't gonna be running over hills holding hands.
I mean, it's gone very well so far.
Yeah, it's been
Poor Morgan. It's never easy.
It's never easy for Morgie.
Morgie.
Never easy for Morgie.
Morgie.
I am ready for that episode.
Yeah, well, no,
ready for that T-shirt.
That's replacing
Never
Momo.
easy
So
for Morgie.
I was gonna say, like,
before a live studio audience.
yeah.
So kind of building off that a little bit, just talking about romance on the show, another fan question for Scott Gimple. This is from Gene H on Facebook. Scott, is there any chance Al and Isabel will meet again? That was such an incredible storyline, so beautifully performed. And I think a lot of fans are like, how are they going to find each other again? Will they find each other again?
There's more story there.
Good.
We want to explore that story more. Individually with those characters, and yes, potentially together. We were really happy with how that came out. We got to take a bigger look at the world and a deeper look at Al. You know, Al's such a guarded character, and it was fun to see Maggie be able to open up. So the answer, there is a chance.
That is the most concrete answer you will ever get out of Scott M. Gimple, by the way.
Yeah, we've been doing this for years.
Ever.
Yeah. So I definitely think the answer is maybe.
Yeah, it's the longest deposition ever.
So here's a question for Alycia from T Walking D World on Twitter. Alycia with a Y, what are your hopes with Alycia with an I for season 6?
I think, by the end of season 5, she'd at least gotten to a place where she was attempting to let go of a lot that she was holding on to, a lot of like destructive and negative and unhappy emotions and mentality. So I think moving forward into season 6, I hope there's like a bit more of a renewed, and I think, we saw it to the end of season 5 where there was a renewed hope and happiness coming into her, which I, was a relief, honestly, because I just felt like she was in the dark for such a long time. And so I think going forward, I've always wanted to see her as well, just like take all the qualities from other people and how they've survived, and how they've led and how they've achieved like success, not just as like the living sense, but also of just like how to apocalypse the best and how to be the most successful at it with the like kind of the least damage. And I don't know, I hope to see her be able to really land in herself and go, I know what I'm doing and I trust myself and I know I can lead well and I know I can do this and I'm going to take all these bits that I've learned and maybe also from her mother to the kind of the better bits of Madison, to go I can do this. I know I can do this well, and where it's not destructive or violent.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is that whenever a character starts to feel grounded, that's sort of when the writers in the show kind of yank the carpet.
Right?
Don't feel grounded. Note to self.
Looks like
the
they did
moment
too
the character feels
much.
grounded, you're like,
if there's one episode where you're like, you have a glass of lemonade and you're leaning back on your porch, you're like, oh my God, what is about to happen to these people? But I guess that sort of leads into a fan question. Don't get too comfortable. That leads into a fan question for Ian from Sidneseth on Instagram. What was the mindset going into season 6?
Virginia is now calling the shots. Our characters are not the masters of their own universe anymore. They are living under Virginia's rule and in Virginia's communities. And so it's a big paradigm shift. And the thing that we're really interested in exploring in season 6 is what does that do to these characters now that they're living under completely different circumstances. And I think what you're going to see is we're going to see some very different shades of these characters this season because they're going to be put to a test. They're all going to be tested in ways maybe they haven't been tested before. And the question is where are they going to fit in within Virginia's world? Are they going to kind of rage against it? Are they going to rebel? Are they going to somehow understand it in a different way? But the exciting thing is, I think you're going to be very surprised by the way that these characters react in these new circumstances. And tonally, I think you could probably tell from watching the trailer, it is going to be a darker season, no doubt about it, because of the way that these characters are going to be tested. But the other thing we're really excited about is that we are going to do a sort of an anthology structure to the episodes.
Cool.
Where we get to deep dive into exactly what these characters are going through within Virginia's communities in the style of some of the episodes we've done in the past that we've loved, like John Dory and Laura in season 4, or Alycia and Charlie in the cabin or in the house in episode 410. You're going to see a lot more of that kind of storytelling in season 6.
Excellent. I would love to ask Colman really fast about, first of all, you directed another episode this season of Fear. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And in the midst of everything else, in the past few months in the quarantine, you launched a talk show, Bottomless Brunch with Colman, from your house.
Yeah.
Great.
Right there.
Always doing the most.
So really quickly, experience directing this season, and then anything you want to talk about Bottomless Brunch.
Oh, you can join me for Bottomless Brunch at Colman's right here at my house, and we've been approved for greenlit for 6 more episodes.
Fantastic! Congratulations!
Thanks. Hopefully I can get people like, I really have to beg and plead to get people like Lennie James and Alycia Debnam-Carey on, but I hope they'll join me.
Talk to my agent.
Sorry, Lennie was a hard pass. Lennie just passed. He just passed.
Depends what's for brunch, right?
Yeah.
What's cooking?
Yeah, exactly. It depends on what we're eating. But basically, it's just about bringing people into our homes and connecting us to our fan base, get to know people in a different way. And it's just a way to sort of take a break from all the things that are going on in the world,
Excellent. And just as far as directing this season, what can you tell us about your experience with that?
I directed an episode that is very, thank you, Scott, Ian, and Andrew. That's a very Die Hard-esque episode. It's just cool. It's so cool. It's just a cool episode. And it features a couple of just wonderful actors on our show who it's really good to see them work together. And I think in a new dynamic way. I won't tell you who or what, but it's fun.
Excellent. And then another person who directed an episode was Lennie James this season. Woo! Lennie, congratulations.
Thank you very much. My first time ever.
Your first time ever directing. So can you talk about your experience shifting back and forth between role as actor, role as director, how that informed you, and what the experience ultimately, how did it surprise you?
Well, luckily I didn't have to do much acting in the actual episode. In fact, I spent more time getting ready to do the scene than I actually did in the scene. So
Okay.
that was kind of helpful. But I have to say that I absolutely love the experience, not least because I've been doing this a very, very, very long time. And I had over 2 weeks of new experiences, of firsts, of things I've never experienced on a film set before. I met people who have been working on Fear the Walking Dead for 2 or 3 years that I've never met before. Because they're never there when I'm there. So it was great. I met the riggers, met the boss rigger, met all the people who put all the sets together, all the people who break down the costumes, and you get asked a million questions over and over and over again. And you have to come up with answers. And it was a trip. It was really fantastic. I was given a fantastic episode, and Colman and Alycia featured prominently in my episode. So I knew I was kind of safe there. Colman acted as a fantastic mentor to me in that transition of being an actor one day and being a director. In fact, on the morning we started filming, he sent me a text, God bless him, I love him to death. He sent me a text just going, do this, don't do that. Do this, don't do that. Do this, don't do that. And whatever you do, don't do that. And I just keep looking at it on the first day. And there's a moment where the whole set stops and the director has to go, okay, this is what we're doing. This is where we're going to be shooting from. This is what I want from the scene. These are the different angles. This is what I believe the story is in this particular scene. And the first time I did that, I have never been so frightened in my life. And I was in an incredibly supportive atmosphere. The crew couldn't have been more generous, couldn't have been more supportive, couldn't have taken me more seriously. And I've said stuff in front of them for years now, standing where I had to stand, saying what I knew I had to say, never been that scared in my life. I'm not sure I will ever direct again, but I am really happy that I got to do it in front of these people, with these people.
You must. We had such a good time. You're a great leader. And I love the fact that I think there's something about like being your first time, you're willing to adapt and go with it. That was so fun and to watch you actually over the 8 days, grow into it. It's just beautiful. I think you did beautiful work.
One of my funniest memories from this was when you were like, I asked you, I think, like, how has it been going? Like, what's maybe been like the hardest thing? And he was like, you know what? I kind of planned for everything. And like, it was really like, I've got this. And then it started raining. And I was like, that's what did it. It was suddenly like, you can't plan for that. And it's just like, it was something that just, you were like, that's what really just something threw us all off.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a trip, and like I said, I was given a good episode, and I was just trusted. I mean, that was the most important thing for me, really. I was, and the crew were really. I saw another side of them. It is like a time shift. You just suddenly you step on the other side, and also time moves completely differently when you're directing to when you're being an actor. It just you, because it's all about time. It's all about, stuff you're not going to have enough time to shoot. And so it was fantastic. And I had once I got over myself, I had a really good time.
That's wonderful. I have one Morgan question for you from Facebook that I wanted to get to because I think it's a great question. What would Rick Grimes make of season 6, Fear the Walking Dead, Morgan?
Wow. I'm not sure I can speak for Rick, but I think he'd be happy that his friend is still alive. But I also think that he might be really worried what will be left of his friend in season 6. What might remain. I think he might be very scared at the prospect of who his friend might be or where his friend might be.
Okay. This question is for Scott M. Gimple from _Taylor Quinn on Twitter. Scott, will there be a time jump as evidenced by John's beard in the trailer? If so, can you say how long?
Oh, you know what? Thank you. Thank you. Not only is there a time jump, but there might be time jumps.
I felt like there was going to be
Okay,
more, and
good
then
night,
you just
everybody.
Yeah,
That's it.
I
Drop
thought you
the
were asking
mic.
about the length of the beard.
They'll all be measured
Yeah.
by the length of Garrett's beard
Yeah.
as the season goes
Yeah,
on.
it's like in 24, you know, like when
Yeah.
the clock comes up, it'll just be Garrett's chin.
This is from Methodical Show on Twitter. Andrew and Ian, will we see the musical episode in the first half of season 6 or the second half?
Wow.
I like that.
I mean, I think we'll say it's not the first half, but we've had a lot of time on our hands for the second half. So again, if anyone wants to tune in to me and Ian performing a musical,
I'm ready to watch that right now.
There's a podcast.
Yeah.
Traveling Wilburys.
I don't know.
Oh my
I think we'll need some help writing the music.
Yeah.
You got Rubén
Coleman
Blades.
has written. Coleman has. Well, you have Rubén Blades. You have Coleman, who has written and worked on musicals before. Is incredible.
Karen
Nat
sings.
King Cole. Yes, Karen sings.
David?
Like
Karen.
you have all of the pieces in place. Alycia is a percussionist. From
we
what
go.
Rubén tells us.
Well, it's been a while,
Yes, she
but
is.
yes.
Yes, she is. We
It
can
feels
do it.
like-
We can do it, you guys.
Feels like all the elements are there. So just as we're wrapping this out, 1 or 2 words. We'll go through the cast. 1 or 2 words to describe what season 6 is to you. Just 1 or 2 words. Obviously, don't give too much away. We can start with anyone. Coleman, do you have a couple words for season 6?
It's opportunistic. It is daring.
Okay. Oh, those are good words. Those are great words. Lenny?
It is a look at the other side of everybody.
Okay. Oh, this is good. Alycia?
Insular, deceptive, and different.
Fantastic.
I even went with
That's good. That's good.
what I got.
Those are good. Those are good words. I cannot tell you how joyful it makes me to see all of your faces. I miss seeing you all in person. I miss, not just doing the panel at Comic-Con, but being able to hang out before and after and catch up. And I can't wait to see you all in person, when this is all over. But I just can't thank you enough for your time. And Lennie James, Alycia Debnam-Carey, and Colman Domingo have been here. Thank you so much. Stay safe and stay healthy. Ian, Andrew, and Scott M. Gimple are going to stay with me, and we're going to join our next group who's going to hop on in just a second. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care.
Good
Have fun,
night,
you guys.
San Diego.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, now we've jumped to the second group for Fear the Walking Dead. We have Daniel Salazar himself. Rubén Blades is here. Danay Garcia, a.k.a. Luciana. Jenna Elfman, who of course plays June. And Karen David, who plays Grace, is here in our video conference. So I want to start with Danay. So Danay, the last time we saw Luciana, she was with Virginia's group in the oil field.
Yeah.
And what can you say about her for season 6? What can we see from her?
Well, she obviously has like a mission, right? She really has a plan, and the thing about her is that she has a plan that we don't know. We have no idea. So obviously Luciana is like very curious, just like I need to find out what's up with this girl, and it's an unpredictable decision, but I feel like it was the right way to continue with the bigger plan, and precisely that's exactly what she tells June. She's like, find that place that you've been looking for. She kind of like tells everybody a little bit of what they should keep doing while I'm joining this journey with Virginia. And I also know that I have this great tool that I can make oil. I know that she's not gonna kill me tomorrow. She needs me. And that's as much as I know for now. And then as you continue for season 6, you're gonna see the bigger plan that she has and how we are cutting the middle of it.
Excellent. A lot of people online wanted to know about the makeup process of being just covered in the grime from the oil fields.
Oh my God, Chris. Well, they're very sweet, the makeup artists like Casey and, everybody very sweet. Every year they try to tell me, hey, this year's gonna be so much easier to take it out because we have this. And at this point, I'm like, just put it on. Don't worry about it. Make sure you mix it with sunscreen. It's okay. just get it over. Get it over. I promise it's gonna be so easy. And they really do. But at the end of the day, we just like, we have to be covered. It's the nature of the show. But they really try to make our life easier. But at the end of the day, you see Jenna, you see all the girls like, we're just like, oh my God. So there's so much you can do, you know?
Yeah, if you work on a Walking Dead show, you're gonna get covered in something sooner or later. You guys have little bingo cards of like covered in guts, covered in blood, covered in oil.
It's a one show where if you have a zit, you actually celebrate that. It's like, yes, a zit.
What's really fun is
got freckles. Yes.
When we get Ian, Andrew, or Scott visit set, because we've been covering crap for like 6 months, whatever. They come and we forget. So it's like, hey, what's up? And you see their faces like, oh my God. And then I'm like, oh,
Is everything all right?
I'm sorry. I hug you later. That's how you know how tough you are.
I have gotten the blood and guts hug.
Have you?
Danay Garcia covered head to toe. Just I had to tell people at the hotel that I work for Walking Dead, so they would know what the hell. Yeah, because I get the laundry done. I'm like, yeah, but this isn't real. I work for Walking Dead. Please don't.
Otherwise, they're going to call the FBI or something.
Yeah. Oh, that excuse again. This guy's clearly a serial killer. No, I work for the Walking Dead. Sure, you do. I'll tell you where Gimple would get into trouble. Is he like, I work on The Walking Dead? And they go, fine. Is Rick Grimes still alive? And then because Scott can never answer a question concretely. Well, he might be. This guy doesn't know anything. Get him out of here. Really a serial killer. This is from Fandemonium Mag on Twitter. Rubén and Karen. If Daniel, Grace, and Charlie started their own band, what would they call themselves?
The Living Dead.
The Living Dead, yeah.
Living Dead is
nice.
great.
Yes.
Nice.
That's a good one.
I will say, I believe Greg Nicotero has The Rocking Dead.
Oh,
good.
Oh, it was right there.
Or if we're paying homage to the show, we could be called The Talking Deads.
Could be called or The Singing Dead. You could be The Singing Dead.
The Singing
you could
Dead,
be Fear the Singing Dead. I don't know. There's a lot of spins you can put on it.
As long as it has dead in it, right?
It's got to have dead in it somewhere.
Yeah.
Fear the Singing of the Dead.
And, Karen, what did it mean for you that Grace admitted to having feelings for Morgan?
Oh, that was a big thing for Grace. For someone who's been not allowing herself to live, to have hope for the future, let alone to allow herself to love and be loved or to feel something for someone else. That was such a big step towards her healing. I was really proud of Grace because I didn't think that she'd be able to come to that place as, I don't want to say as quickly. I thought it would take a longer time, but being surrounded by such a wonderful community and a sense of family, and then getting to know Morgan and realizing that they have so much in common from what they've been through, there was that profound connection that she's been aching for and hasn't had in a long time. So it was frightening at first to her, but to see her eventually open up to it and allow herself to move forward with possibility and hope in her heart is a really big thing.
And what was your reaction when you found out that Grace was pregnant on the show?
When Ian and Andrew told me that, I was like, oh, okay, so nothing major, really. My face was like, what? I didn't see that coming at all. And I definitely know that Grace didn't see that coming. She was so fixated on the fact, she had accepted what her outcome was going to be, and she knew that was the plan. She stuck to it. She's made her mistakes. She's trying to put things right again before she leaves, and then all of a sudden she's pregnant, and what that means for her and all the thoughts running in her mind just this emotional roller coaster of feelings, tithering between, does she dare to be hopeful? Does she dare to be excited about, that's Milo, by the way. It's not my stomach growling, by the way. Wants to make an appearance. Milo, shh. She's tithering between two sides of being excited and feeling all the things that you feel when you get such miraculous and wonderful news like that. And then at the same time, she's quickly reminded of the circumstances she's in, that does she really want to bring a child into this apocalyptic world as we know it? And what does that mean for her future? Is she going to even be, there's so many questions running in her head. Is she going to be alive to see her child's first birthday? Is she going to have a healthy pregnancy? What does this all mean? So I think that's what she's trying to wrap her head around. And then on top of that, to be separated from everyone. She has no support. And she's very much left to herself, her and her baby bump and her thoughts.
Well, speaking of separation, I want to kick it over to Jenna, because as June struggled to find any place she could go home last season, how much more complicated is it now that she's suddenly separated from John?
It's, you know, I think, thank God they have the strong foundation they have. And I think she trusts that John is taking care of himself. And June's whole thing that keeps her oriented and sane is helping other people. And as a nurse, you know, pre-apocalypse, that's her purpose. So she's able to maintain her personal purpose even through these hard times. And I think that she knows that's valuable to Virginia. She knows John can take care of himself. And I think she's just kind of keeping her nose down and just kind of maintaining faith.
Well, what do you think? What do you think life is going to be like for her under Virginia's rule?
Well, June is strong, observant, and smart. And I think that she will be pulling out all of her abilities from her soulful toolbox to apply them where necessary based on what's going on. So, you know, I think June has a high tolerance of stuff that comes at her. Not a trauma nurse, you know, she's a trauma nurse, so that's not for like the lighthearted. I think she has a strong foundation of the ability to face things now that she's kind of gone through a beautiful healing journey with John. So I think that she knows that what she has is valuable to Virginia, and she's going to hold strong on that, and it aligns with her purpose. So I think that she is just holding her line right now, trying to, you know, she's paying attention.
Ian, a lot of people want to know about Dwight and Sherry, and will they be reuniting in season 6? Is that something that you can talk about at all?
Of course not.
I don't know why I've asked these questions. I know that I'm like, you're not gonna be able to answer this, but you know, people ask, and I'm conveying what people are asking on the internet. So
no, we did release a photo of the two of them together. So I won't play too coy. We will see Dwight and Sherry this season. I don't want to say too much else about it, but I think the thing that, you know, is really exciting to me and Andrew is we are huge fans of the character of Dwight. He's a very different man by the end of season 5 on Fear than he was on The Walking Dead. This is someone who at one point was Negan's top lieutenant. And by the end of season 5, he was in a place of incredibly renewed hope and sort of had found this new family. Despite the fact that he hadn't yet found Sherry, but he was not defeated. And there was just a whole new light to him that had come through. So what's interesting to us, if that reunion were to happen, is what happens. He's a different person now. And who knows if maybe Sherry's a different person. So the reunion might not be exactly what they think it is. It doesn't mean it can't be a great thing, but they're both different people. And that's a really interesting thing to explore.
Well, it's fun. It's also fun as, you know, as a fan of the shows, of finally seeing where the shows kind of are starting to bleed together, and storylines that started, you know, on on the first Walking Dead are now starting to bear fruit in Fear the Walking Dead. It's nice to see everything connected. Scott, are there any new characters joining the show this season? And if so, and if you can say, how will they affect the story?
There are a number of new characters, and you know, with each new character we have on the shows, they open up whole new worlds, and there's some huge developments that come out of new characters, and really huge new worlds that we see. One of the characters, though, is somebody that opens up a whole new side to Virginia, and that's her little sister. Her name is Dakota. She's played by Zoe Colletti, and I talked a little bit about, you know, we see this other side of Virginia. This dimensionalizes Virginia, and we see a vulnerability, and we see a relationship that shows us an entirely different side of the character, a whole different side of her motivation. And Ms. Colletti is a brilliant actor, and seeing her with Colby is, yeah, it's really, really good stuff.
Excellent.
And, scary and fun.
Rubén, what do you miss most about being on set right now?
I really miss everyone. I mean, it's very nice to have that connection that we have when we're working. You know, I love to work in a team of people. I like to collaborate and contribute as a group. So I really miss the daily contact. It's a lot of fun for me, and I really miss everyone a lot.
Miss you back. Miss you back.
We miss you all.
And we you.
I know, because ultimately, I mean, the show is really about community, right? It's really about people coming together and supporting each other to survive. Do you miss Skidmark, Rubén?
I do. And that cat, you know, so I wanted to be friends with more, you know, I wanted Skidmark to come and live with me while we were over there. But the trainer doesn't want that, because he wants the cat to obey him, you know, not me.
Right.
I would sneak like treats for Skidmark, and he didn't like that.
It's
like, no, because the cat's gonna start liking me more than, you know, him. He needs to have the control over the cat, you know. Yeah, I wanted a scene with, you know, and this cat, the cat here at night, she goes to at a certain time, she will come over in the bed and come over, and I hear her, you know, because she's purring like a motor, and she comes and boom, and she sleeps next to me, and that's very funny, because I mean, I never had a cat before, and cats are very standoffish, so I wanted to have Skidmark do the same thing. It would be great in a scene, you know, where we're both sleeping together. Hey, and by the way, I know you guys can't say anything, but what about the cat?
Yeah, producers, what about the cat?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
the cat.
I mean, at least
the cat
2
is
lives will be spent.
There's a plot point that revolves around Skidmark, and we haven't seen the last of that cat. Look, Virginia's got like some major rat problems she's got to take care of first. So,
you know, one thing that we can preview here is Daniel Salazar is not going to be the only character who has a pet on Fear this season. So Skidmark may end up with a friend, some other friend from a different branch of the animal kingdom, perhaps.
And truth be told, our dream is to do a Milo and Otis episode with Skidmark and this other animal.
Yeah.
So
That would be amazing.
Yes, please.
You should do that. The spin-off.
Who's going to do the voiceover? Because Milo.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for years. A lot of CGI would be employed. Those Milo and Otis problems.
Our line producer Frank Hildebrand looks like he wants to kill us every time we bring it up.
It might be animated. It might be animated.
So let me just, because we have a few minutes left, so I want to just quickly jump through some rapid fire fan questions, so we have time to squeeze in the questions that we have. This is from Jim F on Facebook. Danay, if Luciana had lost her wounded arm last season, would she have replaced it with a weapon like Merle in The Walking Dead?
Of course. I will be sending John Dory somewhere to get me a gun to put it in my
arm.
I'll be June, call John, tell him I need a gun. Look at the size of my arm. Yes. That could possibly fit my arm. Yes, of course.
All right, fan question for Jenna. Laura L on Facebook. Jenna, how has playing June changed you as an actress?
Oh, well, I think just on a personal level, in terms of like an artistic journey, for me, it's really given me the opportunity to prove to myself that I can do some things that I hadn't ever had the opportunity to engage in on such a deep and I don't know, full level before. So it's been a really big gift for me to try my hand at certain things, and so I think it's just grown me as an artist and bolstered my confidence and willingness to keep growing in certain areas now.
I just, as someone who's been watching you for many years, it's been really fun to watch you dig into this role too, you know, and especially from knowing like what a phenomenal comedic performer you are, just like watching, you know, the depth that you bring to June. It's just been such a pleasure to watch as someone who's known you for a long time and has watched you for a long time.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, you're welcome. We're neighbors. I'm coming over, but several feet apart. Karen, if you had a say in the matter, what would you name Grace's baby?
Oh.
Wow.
I think she'd want to
That's
honor.
a great question.
It is. It's a tough one too. But I think instinctively she would be thinking of Morgan and maybe Morgana if it's a girl. Yes.
The most beautiful name.
If it's a boy, or maybe his son's name, Dwayne. Or if it's a girl, maybe his wife's name. Something to honor them. It just feels right.
Beautiful. Fantastic. Andrew and Ian, there's a real Western vibe in the trailer. So are we going to see the show kind of curve more in that direction in season 6?
Most definitely. You know, it's been, we've talked about it as a Western since season 4, and the exciting thing for us now is that landscape opens up even more because we're going to be going inside Virginia's communities. And so we're going to be seeing a whole other facet to it. It is not a lawless Wild West. It's sort of the opposite because Virginia rules with an iron fist, but we're going to get peeks into those individual communities, which is just going to open up the world in a really exciting way.
And
Walking Deadwood.
The other thing too is like, because we're doing this anthology kind of structure, each episode kind of has its own flavor. So there are ones that feel Western, but there are kind of other genres we're going to be dipping into. So we're kind of excited about that. A little more flavor coming from episode to episode.
Excellent. And then finally, Scott, since the full scope of the Walking Dead universe is locked inside your head, and no one else knows what is in there, can you just kind of share how this season of Fear kind of maps on and compares to the full Walking Dead universe right now?
Well, the big thing I think is what Andrew was just saying. The format is going to be very, very unusual to the universe. We're going to have these, you know, these 16 little movies that all sort of fold into each other. And it's the only show that's doing it right now. I think where the story is and where these characters are, you know, Walking Dead is, you know, those characters are in some ways fully evolved as survivors and in the world. On World Beyond, those kids are starting out in the world. They've been in the world a long time, they've been safe. They're going out into danger, so they're starting. This show features characters in the middle of their evolution, and we're seeing the deep changes that all of them are going through. And I think that's something that makes it, unique in the universe right now.
Excellent.
And I'm looking at the camera.
That was very well said,
Yeah.
Scott.
That was very well said, and you were looking at the camera this time.
Too bad it's gonna be cut.
It was just about achievement. I achieved it. Doesn't matter.
Oh, Ruben, I miss
Actually,
you so much.
if you could have me start and then cut it right there with Ruben saying too bad.
Credits. As you're talking, just credits rolling over your face. The music is flowing. I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank Ian and Andrew and Scott and Karen and Ruben and Jenna and Danay. And then, of course, remind everyone that Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 premiere will be October 11th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. This has been Comic-Con at Home 2020, where I guess the H in Hall H stands for home. But we want to thank you for being here, and I want to deeply thank Comic-Con for helping to put all this together and adapting, as best we can in the situation. Thanks to you, the fans, for watching, and we really hope to see you in person next year. Take care, everyone. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Chris.
Stay healthy and safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Chris. Bye, everyone.
Bye.